Hello everyone. This is the cloud computing group 5. So my teammate me, Piseth and Damian. So we are going to present you about the Pokedex cloud web, which is launched by the AWS service of EC2. So this is our content that we will go through today. Firstly, I will introduce you the web page of the Pokedex and the services we are using to launch the web page. Second is the source code, which presented by Piseth, including the design, API, and function. Last but not least, Damian will take over the deployment process of the Pokedex web page. Let's move on to my part. Let me introduce the web page of the Pokedex. As you can see on the right side, this is the website of the Pokedex that exhibits all of the Pokemon character from the whole series are covered in depth of the Pokedex section, and there are many statistics of each Pokemon are displayed on the main list page. And when you click a Pokemon character name, the page will view a detailed page with Pokedex information, description from the evolution, move, and ability of each Pokemon character, and also the biography. Next, I will summarize you our service that we are using, including the EC2, AWS security group, Porty application, and Pokedex application. So in order to launch this Pokedex web page, we are using one of the AWS service, which is called Amazon EC2. So Amazon EC2 provides scalable computing power in the Amazon Web Service cloud. By using Amazon EC2, you can develop and deploy apps more quickly, and web service that enables user to boot an Amazon machine image AMI that to set up a virtual machine. And for AWS security group is also created in that EC2 service as well. And for the Porty application is an open source network file transfer program, Siri console, and terminal emulator. So we utilize Porty application is to build a key pair and connect to our Amazon Linux instance and to complete the configuration process as well. And lastly, the Pokedex application is an application where we load the private key to complete the our Pokedex web page. And that's all for my part. Let's pass the next part to Piseth. Thank you.
Thank you, Lyhour. And my name is Piseth, and I'm going to talk about the second part of our presentation, source code. Now, first of all, we're going to talk about the design of our website itself. And our design are driven by two main pillars, CSS and JavaScript. CSS are helping us with the front end, the visual, colors, column, row, segmentating our website itself. Now, JavaScript is for our backend. They work with querying, as well as some functionality like search, front-end function, as well as querying image and animation that are from the API. Now, let's take a quick look at the website itself. Now, as you can see, this is our website. And if you notice, we can do an infinite scroll, meaning that as we scroll, there will be more information adding on to this list, creating a sense of infinite scroll. And once you find a Pokemon you like, you can click on it, and there will be a quick loading. And as you can see, there is animation. This is all thanks to the API we use, which I will talk in the next part of our presentation. And quickly, we not only have image as well as information, both text, so on, so forth. We also have a search functionality, which is thanks to the JavaScript, like I said before, that help us search for Pokemon. So Pikachu, and once again, querying those information when needed. Now, let's move on to the next part of our presentation, the API itself. Our API, the one we use RESTful API linked to their extensive database detailing everything from Pokemon in the main game, as well as item in the game itself, but we did not have time to build that into our website. Now, this API is publicly available and you don't need special tool to connect to it, so it is open source. Well, and you can able to access it whenever you feel like doing it. Now, when I say RESTful API, what is RESTful API? Well, RESTful API are a cloud-based API which are connected to their database. Now, meaning that we are not connecting directly to the database itself, we're connecting to a cloud service which connected to the database, meaning creating a second layer of defense for both us as well as the database itself, so it can't be tampered with. Now, this is the type of information from the database that gave to us through the API, and as you can see, it's very hard to read. This is the raw data itself. And what do we do with that? Well, the functionality of our website itself. So we have two main functionality that our website do: querying and processing, and organizing and styling. So first of all, querying and processing. Well, we query the information and it'll look something like this. Then we process it, we clean it up, and take only necessary information that we want to show and make it more readable. Now, this is done through our code. As you can see here, this is the part where we linked to the API itself and fetching Pokemon type and other information. Now, this is just connecting to the API, the setup. Then we query for information. As you can see here, when we query for information, we link them to a class, which we can be used later on in the HTML and creating Pokemon lists. And remember when I said about infinite scroll? Well, it's also done here. So as you can see here, we'll start out with the first 100 Pokemon when we do Y scrolling, and when we reach the bottom, we'll add 30 more and 30 more until we reach the end of the API or the full list of the Pokedex itself. Now, moving back to the presentation, as you can see here, much better looked. Here, this is where we linked them. So this is where we linked the class itself to the attack stat, the health stat, the defense stat. And this will be very useful in the second function that we'll be using. Here is organizing and styling the data itself. Now, it looks something like this. This is the HTML file, and as you notice, we have called the class to use here and link them to a style in our CSS. And let's go back to the code. And as you can see here, this is very minimal compared to our JavaScript file, because all the heavy lifting are already done by the JavaScript, and HTML and CSS are just displaying the website itself with minimal functionality in it. Now, with that, I'll pass on to my friend Damian. Will talk about the deployment of our website itself.
Hello everyone, my name is Damian. So for my part, I'll be talking about on how to deploy a website on AWS. So firstly, you have to create a new security group, and then you have to download a software which is called PuTTY in order to create a private key, and also use that private key to access your AMI by using PuTTY. So now let's learn how to create and deploy a website on EC2 together. So first go to Services and click on EC2. So after that, you click on security groups. So this is where we create our new security group. So just click on create. So I'll just call the security group tests. And for the description, I would say allow access to port 20 and port 80. So port 20 is the SSH port and port 80 is the HTTP port. So this is the inbound rules. You don't have to do anything to the outbound rules. So for the inbound rule, just add two rules, which are the SSH and the HTTP. After that, for the source, for SSH, you have to click on your own IP address, so my IP, and the HTTP, you have to click on anywhere IPv4, which the CIDR range is 0.0.0, and click on create security group. After you created a new security group, you go to instances, and then you click on launch instance. So after you launch an instance, you can call anything, you can name anything to your server. So we'll just call it test as well. And for the AMI, we chose Amazon Linux, and we chose the free tier one. And this is the instance type. So there are many instance types you can pick, but for the free tier one, you can pick the t2.micro. So for the key pair part, you have to create a new key pair if you don't have a key pair. But if you do not have a key pair, you have to create a new one. So in order to create a new key pair, just click on create, and you have to choose RSA, and the private key file is .pem. After that, you can name your key pair. So I'll just call it the test key pair. The test key, and click on create key pair. After that, your key pair will automatically download. So this is where my key pair is stored for now. After that, go to your network settings and click on edit, and then go to VPC, and for the subnet, you can assign any subnet you want. So I'll just click on the first one, and make sure auto assign public IP is enabled. Click on select existing security group and choose the security group that we created earlier. So for us, we created a security group named test. After that, you're done, and just click on launch instance. So your instance will take some time to launch. Now, after everything is fully launched, so in order to check it, just look at the instance state, which is running, and the status check is green. So after that, we'll have to open PuttyGen. So search for PuttyGen, and then you click on File, load the private key, and find the private key that you just downloaded. So change it to all file and click on testkey.pem file and open it. So it will say it's successfully imported the foreign key, and click on OK and save your new private key. So this one, we'll call it private key test, and click on save. After that, your private key is now saved. So after you finish saving your private key, go to Putty. So click on Putty, and then for this part, you have to find the public IP address. So go to the instance that you just created, and you click on connect. After you click on connect, you can see your username and your public IP address. So type in your username, which is EC2-user, click on add, and copy your IP and paste it in here. After that, go to the SSH tab, click on the plus button, and you see AUTH. Extend the AUTH, click on credentials, and browse your private key. So let's find our private key, which is the private key test PPK. So this is the one that we just created earlier. After that, go back to your session and save this session. So we'll just call it test and we'll save it. So open it and click on accept, and that it will load this part which signals that it is working. So it is the command line interface of where you can deploy your file into AWS. So here are the commands that you should follow. So firstly is the sudo su, so it allows you to be a admin, so it is where you can type in the command. So in order to do that, just type it sudo su, and then you have to update the system. So type in yum space update and -y. -y means yes, so it will update the system for you. After it is updated, it will say that it is complete. So after it is complete, just install the httpd. So you have to type in yum install and type in y, which is yes, and httpd. So this will also install the httpd to your system. And after that, you have to go to the HTML directory. So in order to do so, just click on cd, just type in cd/var/3ws/html. After you are in the HTML directory, you have to copy and paste the GitHub link to your file. So in order to do that, you have to upload your file to GitHub and take the download link address and paste it in here. So I have uploaded my code inside GitHub. So just click on code and just copy the link address of your code. So just click on copy. After that, you type in wget and paste in that address. So after it is done, it will load something like this, and you click on ls to check the file that have just been downloaded to your system. So the file is main.zip. So just unzip the file, just type in unzip main.zip. After that, type in ls again to check your file. So currently we have two files which are the main.zip earlier and the unzipped version of it, which is called group 6 cloud computing main. So now you have to copy the files and delete the things that we don't need. So in order to do so, just type in cp -ar and the name of your file. So the name of our file is group 6. Our group is 5, but I accidentally put 6. So cloud computing main, and then just type in slash a star and another slash and a var www/html, and it is downloaded. It is copied. So just type in ls and it will show you the file that has just been copied to your system. And now you'll have to remove the files that you don't need. But before that, we have to delete and unzip some stuff. But right now, I'll just unzip. No, I'll just remove it first. So I'll just remove two files, which are the main.zip file. So the main.zip file and the file that has just been unzipped from it, which is the long one. So the two files are deleted, so we have only the Pokedex main.zip left in our directory. So you just have to unzip that file now. So Pokedex main.zip. So when you unzip it, just type in ls again, and you have all the things that you need, which are the Pokedex main and the Pokedex main.zip. After that, you have to do the same thing to the Pokedex main. The reason is that because our file, we have two zips. So after you extract a zip file, you have to extract another one. But for you, you don't have to do that. You can only unzip a zip file once. So for us, we have to do it twice. So just type in cp again and type in R and the name of your file, so which is Pokedex main slash so after that, just type in ls and it will load all the things that it will load all the files that is in your directory. So these are the files that we need for our website. After that, just type in system ctl enable httpd. So you will enable httpd, and then you have to type in system ctl start httpd. So it will start the system for you. And type in sudo service httpd status. So we want to know if it is running. So it is active running. And type in sudo check config httpd to make it to turn on. So it is enabled now. So that's the things that you have to type in for your website. So wait, we don't have to turn it off yet. So go back to AWS, click on your server, so which is test, and copy and paste your public IPv4 address. So there we go, you have a launched website that is launched by AWS EC2.
To conclude, I would like to address that Pokedex is created especially for Pokemon fans who like to collect or who want to compare different Pokemon characters, including their abilities and statistics, as well as to learn more about the character through the biographies. However, prior to the website accessible, among other services, we prefer Amazon EC2 over other services to deploy the Pokedex website because it is more acceptable comparing to other services. EC2 make it simple to deploy virtual servers and maintain storage by utilizing the AWS management console, the AWS command line interface CLI, or the AWS software developer kit SDK. Yeah, so the servers that are quite dependable allowing for quick and simple instant replacement. And you have access to a variety of instant type software program, instant storage option, and operating system using EC2. So finally, user can gain root access to each instance, enabling them to be used like any other system. And using web service API, the user can terminate the instance while keeping the data on the boot partition and then resume it. All in all, for those who looking to launch a website should strongly consider using Amazon EC2. Thank you.